Hi, my name is Karunakar Marsakatla. Today is June 8, 2026. As part of the series, today's talk is India's time problem. What is it? When you look at India, it's a very wide country from east to west and north to south. But the sun goes from east to west, so that's how the time difference um, will be visible based on how wide is the country is. So based on the longitude going through that particular location, that's how the time gets calculated. um, when you when you look at the easternmost point in Arunachal Pradesh is 97 degrees and 25 minutes um, angle of that longitude, and then westernmost point in Gujarat is 68 degrees and 7 minutes east of whatever that 0 degree Greenwich um, longitude going through Greenwich. And then when we subtract B minus A, we get almost close to 29 degrees. Because sun covers 360 degrees in 24 minutes, for 1 degree we get 4 minutes. So 29 times 4 is 116 minutes. That's close to 2 hours. So because we follow one single standard time all across India, if sunrise happens in Arunachal Pradesh easternmost point at 5 a.m., Gujarat westernmost point will witness the sunrise at 7 a.m. So look at here, if there is a sunrise at 5 a.m., east westernmost point still will be dark because sun only shines only the easternmost point. For the sun to cover all across India, it will take 2 hours. When it comes to um, westernmost points, it will be 2 hours, like 7 a.m. So that's when they will see the sunrise. So what is the problem with this? Suppose if a school or office is supposed to open at 9 a.m. all across India, right? Then people in the easternmost place have to wait for 4 hours after sunrise. They wake up at 5 a.m. and then they need to wait for 4 hours until 9 a.m. to go to school or office. And the situation on the westernmost part is different. People in the westernmost place have to wait for just 2 hours after sunrise because they have sunrise at 7 a.m. They just have to wait for just get get ready and then go to office in 2 hours. And then similar situation occurs at closing time. People in the easternmost place will go home in the dark because for them the 5 p.m. will be very dark because they went to office very late. So by the time 5 p.m. happens all across India, that will be very dark on the eastern states. And then, but on the westernmost place in Gujarat, will have more time after work, school because of late sunset. This is very inconvenient for people living in on both ends to do their day-to-day activities. That's right. Only for the people living in the center, it will be comfortable. But for the people living in the east and west, their natural activities of body cycles differ from whatever that standard time we are maintaining. So, how the standard time came about. When you look at the half of width, 29 degrees by 2 is 14 degrees 30 minutes, right? And then you add that 14 degrees 30 minutes to easternmost point, uh, we get 82 degrees and 30 minutes. So that's how they came up with the standard meridian. This is what determines the time that whatever that longitude going close to Varanasi city. Um, so what happens when you say it means 12 in India is exactly noon time only at the places around the standard meridian. You say 12 o'clock in India IST time, that is only noon. Sun will be on the top at the only at this meridian. People living in this line, not in Mumbai, not in Hyderabad, no, or not in Chennai or Delhi. So the only IST means only people living around people living at this place. So the disadvantages of having one standard time for this wide country is lot. Basically, a country's time zone should enable a natural living condition to maximum number of people in that country. So maximum number of people living on this straight line like this, right? So having a time zone at this place um, creates a difference in a natural life cycle, natural day-to-day activities for the people living in these places and then here. And maximum number of people live on the left side of the standard meridian. Therefore, IST is not useful to maximum population in the country. IST as one single time zone creates huge time difference across India. So, what we should do? Time zone. This time zone issue is being discussed for a long time, and multiple solutions have been proposed to solve the issue. So, I'm not talking this issue afresh. It's been discussed, and people propose different solutions, but nothing changed. Many different reasons were given for not changing the present structure. Um, so basically, what my opinion is, uncomfortable living should not be a standard. That needs to be changed. It's time to find a solution for this time issue. So, what is the solution? Um, we could keep the present IST as it is and then represent it in 24 hours. One reason they gave for not implementing the different time zones in India is because if you have different time zones, um, the central administration in Delhi, if they want to communicate with the different people, the confusion might arise. Like when you say 7 o'clock in the morning, what which time zone you're talking about? So that confusion will be there. So that's why what I propose is keep the existing time zone as IST, whatever that is, and represent it in 24-hour format. When you say evening 5 o'clock, don't say 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Instead of 5 p.m., you say like 12 plus 5, 17 hours. So that's how, when you say 17 hours, you are talking about IST. And then for local administration, we create a time zone and the same meridian. We call it as VST, Varanasi Standard Time, for local services, and represent this in 12-hour format, 5 p.m. or 5 a.m., like that, like a 12-hour format. We represent that. So that's how we difference between whether we're talking about the IST or the local time zones. And then second time zone, what I propose is a time zone with the longitude going through the city of Ujjain, where the ancient astronomical calculations were based in treatises as UST, Ujjain Standard Time, or MST, Mahakal Standard Time, as it recently appeared in the news in one conference. And Ujjain is basically 75 degrees and 47 minutes east of that standard zero meridian, is close to 7 degrees and 30 minutes west of the standard meridian. So this standard meridian is 82 30 minutes, and this is 75 degrees, 82 degrees and 35 minutes, and this is 75 degrees. So basically 7.5 minutes of angle in the uh, longitude is difference, and then that comes to 30 minutes, right? Like each minute is 4 minutes, and 7 minutes 30 minutes is like 30 minutes in time. So that is behind IST. So this is 30 minutes behind IST. It will follow a 12-hour format. So people living west of this time zone will follow this time, whatever that this UST time, and then close to this side also use UST. And the people living here and then close to this Varanasi time zone, and then close to this side also use the VST time zone. Another time zone we create with the 90 degrees east, that basically matches with Bangladesh time zone, and then that we can a time zone with a longitude of 90 degrees as AST with the name of two largest eastern states as Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. It will be 30 minutes ahead of the IST. It will follow the 12-hour format. Because it's also 7 hour, 7 minutes, 7 degrees and 30 minutes ahead of that standard meridian. It will be 30 minutes here. And we could also create, because people love to have a time zone ahead of them, right? So that makes it very natural. Like it just with sunrise they could get up and then do their day-to-day activities. And for that we could even select this one, um 97 degrees and 30 minutes as the, because 90 degrees plus 7.5 minutes, 7 degrees and 30 minutes, so that becomes 97 degrees and 30 minutes as the fourth time zone. If people prefer that way, easternmost people prefer that way, we can create another time zone like this. And then so each state will adopt the time zone that is close to its capital city. So see, if here Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal is close to this one, so they will select this time zone. And then whatever the states here, if you say Bhubaneswar, probably this Varanasi time zone is close to that one, so they adopt that time zone. So like that, whatever the states, their capital cities are close to whatever the time zone, they will adopt that time zone. Even if we create fourth time zone, each will be like 30 minutes apart, and then it's easy to understand. And when you say like 7 o'clock and then AST, and then when the people talking about time from here UST, they know they need to add like 30 plus 30, or if you want, if another time zone is here, 1.5 hour they need to add to their time zone. So that's how we can solve this issue. So how do you manage the services? So nationwide critical services, these services should be run with the current Indian Standard Time, because transportation is very critical. Like a flight going from Gujarat to, let's say, Calcutta, then we need to have a one single time. We need to represent when it's starting and when it's landing. The trains going to from Mumbai to Chennai. So that also we need to have a standard time zone. That's why these critical, including security like military and police, then hospitals as well, and then like when you say you have surgery at 7 o'clock, um, like you need to be precise, right? Which time zone you are talking about. Instead of that, you say 7 o'clock is 7 p.m. in the evening is like 12 plus 7 is 19 hours, so you say 19 hours you're going to have a time zone. So that these critical services should be represented in IST and then in 24-hour format. Then part 2 is nationwide non-critical services. These should be represented, um, the like banking and postal services, IST in IST in 24-hour format. um, that for the administration, main central administration. So if the current service of the central administration is 9 hours, nine in the morning to 5 in the evening, that should be that should be extended to 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening. So that way, central administration extends the hours 1 hour early and then 1 hour late, and now we have more time zones on the evening and eastern side and then western side. Local branches work with their local time 9 to 5. So the time gap, by extending the services at the central administration, the time gap can be covered with this extended services. So that way, we still have continuity of help from the central administration to the local branches, and then still manage. We can serve the local community in their local time zones. And then the local services, we could say we could strictly follow this two-level format, like shops, right? Shops, schools, local industries, and the local administrative offices. If you open the school at 9 a.m. local time and then close it to 5 p.m. Local time, doesn't matter, right? It's not a national critical service. So that's why those critical services should be run on the local time zones and then represent it in 12-hour format. That's how we can solve the this issue. And this is not the standard. You might come up with some other solution, but we could create like a start a discussion and then come up with a solution, and then we should implement that one. The solution presented here is an example, but all other options should be explored and best among them should be adapted. There is no justification for further delay in adapting multiple time zones. We should have them. That should solve a lot of problems and the people facing in the easternmost states and then westernmost states. And this is part of series I'm giving. If you are interested, you can check these other talks I gave, and there you can look at the playlist on the YouTube is the manifesto, and this is the 10th in the series. And thank you for watching. These are my handles on YouTube and X.